Hello. So we are going to go ahead and we're going to work on lesson 7.1. So I've already folded my paper into 3 hamburger folds and I am writing my name in the corner. This is lesson number 7.1 and we're on pages 9 through 12. We're mostly going to do 11 and 12. So, all right, number 1, we have a picture and it has a circle. And the circle has 10 sections. So I'm going to cut it in half and then I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have some shading happening on the circle. So we're going to get some blue out. We're going to shade 3, right? And we have something that looks like this with a green box and a 10th. And then they're asking us to say, what does that look like as a decimal? So if I have 3 out of 10, I have 3/10. If I'm showing that in decimal language, I have 3/10. Okay. So this is the ones, this is the decimal, and this is the tenths. So 3/10 looks like this with the 3 in the tenths place, the decimal, and a 0 as my placeholder. All right, let's look at number 2. Number 2, we have one whole circle, and then we have another circle. So we're cutting them in half, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are coloring one whole and then 2. So if we were to go ahead and show that, we would obviously have 1 and then we have a green box and over 10. And that equals a decimal. So this would be 1 2/10, right? And if I wanted to show that as a decimal, this is the ones. The decimal goes on the line right here, and then this is the tenths. I would call this 1 2/10. The decimal is the same thing as the word and. Okay, so when you are saying this word, you don't say it 1.2, you say it 1 2/10, right? Okay, now we have a number 3 and 4 ask us to make a number line. And I'm going to do them right here. I'm going to make the number lines right here on my paper sideways. And I'm doing both of them on here because there's plenty of room to fit both. Okay, so my number lines are showing me 0. And then we have 1. And then we have 2. So both number lines look almost exactly the same. And then if we were to cut them in half, this would be halfway between there, right? So and then we're going to count the numbers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why spacing's not great on that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're trying to show where 7/10 is. So I'm starting out with this 0 right here. So I know that I'm going to be right here at 0. And then I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7/10 is going to be right there. Now my next number is 1 and 1/10. So if I have a 1 in the ones place, that means I'm going to be over here. And then 1/10 is right here. Okay, so that was pretty simple. Now let's turn our page, and we're going to go to 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, so I'm looking at number 5, and I have a little picture that is a T-chart, and it says ones and tenths, and it has a decimal right here. And then I have 2 little balls, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 more little circles, right? And then I have a green box underneath. So if my decimal is right here and I have 2 in the ones place, I'm going to write 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7/10. So I would say this number 2 and 7/10, right? Now let's look at number 6, because number 6 is a troublemaker. I have ones, I have tenths, and I have 13. And then it's asking me to say what the decimal is. So if I look at this one and I think about regrouping, I cannot have 13 in one place. Our number system says, hey, if you have 10, you have to cash it in, right? So that means I'm going to have 1 over here. These tenths, 10/10, are worth 1 whole, 1. So this would move over and I would have 1 there, and then I would still have these 3. So my number is going to be 1 and 3/10. All right, let's look at number 7. We have 4/10 of a meter, and that equals, so I draw my little chart over here. I hope you know that's tenths. Here's my decimal. So if I have a number I have no number in the ones place. This is not a mixed number, so I have a 0 there. And then I have 4/10. So I'm going to write it like that, 0.4, which would be 4/10 is how we would say it, just 4/10. Okay, let's look at number 8. We have 7/10. And we have a box. And if we're saying this, if we have 7/10, we're going to have a 7 right here, and we have no whole number at all. So we're going to write it like that. And we would say it 7/10. We wouldn't have to say it 0 and 7/10. You don't have to say the 0 part, but you do have to say the 7/10 part. Okay, let's look at number 9. So on number 9, number 9's a bit of a trickster again. And we'll do 10 over here, we'll do 11 over here, and we'll do 12 over here, okay? So if we're looking at number 9, it's showing us 16/10 of a liter, and it says, what's the decimal version of that? So I'm going to draw myself a little chart. And if I have 16/10, that means I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10, and then I have, So that's what 16 looks like, right? That's too many. So remember, when I have 10, I've got to cash it in, and I'm going to cash it in for 1. 10 tenths equals 1 whole. So now I'm going to have 1 and 6 tenths. So I have 1 and 6 tenths liters. And this wouldn't look like this either, because this is an improper fraction, right? So this would probably look better if we said, hey, that's 1 and 6 tenths, right? This is like 10 tenths. The 1 whole is like 10 tenths, and then the 6 tenths. 1 whole is 10 tenths plus 6 tenths. So an improper fraction also makes an improper decimal that we have to fix, right? Okay, let's look at number 10 is going to be the same problem. We have 14 tenths. And that equals green box. So again, we have our chart right here. We have ones and tenths. And if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we have these 10, they've got to come over here and get cashed in for 1. So now we have 1 and 4 tenths, right? And we could say the same thing. This is an improper fraction, 14 tenths, not cool. It should actually be 10 tenths, or 1 whole, and 4 tenths, or 1 and 2/5 would actually be the better way of writing that. Okay, let's look at number 11. We have 2 and 9 tenths kilograms, and that's going to equal, we have our little chart here. We have ones and tenths. If we have 2 and 9 tenths, that looks like this, 2 and 9 tenths. That one was easy. Okay, next one's not too bad either. They're not trying to trick us. So we have 9 ones and 6 tenths. So again, I just make my little chart. It takes 2 seconds to make a place value chart. So it's really easy to make a place value chart. So if I have 9 ones, that means I'm going to have 9 over here. And then if I have 6 tenths, I have 6 in the tenths place. And that's going to equal 9 and 6 tenths. Sounds exactly like this. 9 and 6 tenths. Okay, we're going to skip ahead a little bit, and we're going to do numbers 20, 21, 22, and 23. Okay, so this one, number 20, says, hey, we have this. That's the same as this plus this plus this. So if we break this into component parts, we know that this is 4 tenths. So that looks like that fraction, right? 4 tenths. We're going to break up the 20 and 1 by place value. So this one is going to be 20, and this one is in the ones place, so it's 20 plus 1 plus 4 tenths. Okay, this one is asking, we have a diagram that looks like this. We have a decimal point right here. This is tens. This is ones. This is tenths. And so we have a number that looks like this. And it's asking us, where's the 7? The 7 is in the ones place. That was easy. Here's the 7. It's in the ones place. Now it's asking us 3 tens equals So if we have this number right here, 3 tens, that's equal to 3 times 10. They're saying, what's the value of the 3 in the tens place? It's worth 3 times 10, which is 30, right? Now this one is asking, what is the value of the 5? It's worth 5 tenths. And if we were to look at that, it would be worth 0.5, right? That's how much the 5 is worth. All right. So I hope that this helped you. I hope that working with tenths was enjoyable and not too challenging, because we're going to move on to hundredths pretty soon. So thanks for joining me, and I will talk to you later.